Hello, everyone! Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Weekend of Frivolity, the Broiler Chicken Show. So cool. They always say, careful what you wish for, you might just get it good and hard. The Broiler Chicken! And, it looks like we're live on YouTube, so that's good. Am I supposed to put YouTube links? Oh, thanks, Sharky. You saved me. Way to go, dude. Poor old Felipe just went out to get coffee. You're gonna have to watch this later on, dude. Sorry. Anyway. So they always say, careful what you wish for, you might just get it good and hard. And of course, our ladies on the site are like, where the hell's our goddamn Broiler Chicken Show? Get off your ass, Beamish. Oh, come on, sing. Bark, 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 bark. So, if anything, this is great. The ladies are keeping me on task, and of course, all the guys are. This is kind of cute, you know. Nice pizza and some chicken and some cake and some sausages. So we have lots of fun at TRI. This community, I mean, dealing with Rocket Chat, you can see how many private messages I have to deal with every single day. It's overwhelming. So my apologies if you are, good heavens, I don't even know what you're doing there. Anyway, we have lots and lots of fun at TRI and the community. And if anything, that's one good thing. If you're just sitting in a trade, just waiting, it's probably better to have a nice little community that you can chat with and interact with and have fun with, and, you know, crazy memes and stuff like that. And so you don't end up fucking up a good trade, right? I mean, I used to work at a prop firm years ago now. Now I can say years ago. Oof, that's scary. But anyway, one of the guys that was sort of the head honchos there, he actually said he learned to teach himself how to play guitar while in trades. And the only time he was allowed to learn and practice was he had to have a trade on. But the point is sometimes in the market you just got to put your money to work and just let it work. And like I said, having a nice supportive community like we have at TRI. Maybe you're having a bad day. Actually I spent almost 2 hours yesterday with one alumni who has gone through some really challenging times, and I really like the guy. And this is the type of person that I am. I just, I took 2 hours yesterday and I just sat and chatted with him, and we walked through his whole plan. And I have the best wishes for him and the best intentions for all of you guys. And that's the kind of thing that I do at TRI, is I'll just take an hour or so out of a day. And he's like, oh, well, I want to pay you and all that. And I'm like, fuck money. Let's just get together and chat. So, anyway, point of the matter here is definitely challenging times in our society. Unfortunately, we are going through one of these massive, cycle shifts from one generation to the other. And I mean, generation. That's a pretty big time frame, isn't it? Generation. So, if it's going to take maybe, 3 or 4 years to make this transition, that's totally possible. They always say that recessions usually happen in years that end in like 7, 8s, 9, 0s, 1s, and 2s, or basically think of the back half of the decade. Usually we start out the new decade sort of full of, optimism, aspiration. What's this new decade going to look like? Now we're in the 2020s. What's the future in store for us? But we have to sort of get beyond the old story, and we have to transition into this new world. And frankly speaking, we might find things like institutions, practices that we would consider very normal, life patterns completely change on the other side of this transition. I think a really good analogy of that was there was a massive transition that had to happen through the 1930s, very similar to what we're going through now. And through that period, I was even just for fun, I was even putting out. I don't know where the best place to show you this stuff is. I was putting out tweets. Just if we, it's awfully tough, of course, for us to go back into sort of Spanish flu days. I know what did the world look like, but there were some pretty big changes in our society that came out in very, very quick period of time. For example, I don't know whether you guys know, but it was very common, and the only reason why I know this is because I used to be a rower when I was in high school, and you weren't allowed to smoke when you were rowing. You had to run like 3 miles a day, which was terrible. So all the rowers chewed tobacco. I used to have school. In fact, I could still do that. Pack in the school, you go. I totally ruined my fingers. But if anybody has chewed tobacco, you know exactly what I was just doing there. Anyway, point of the matter here is, chewing tobacco, almost every tavern and saloon prior to the Spanish flu in the turn of the century had a spittoon. I mean, it was just commonplace. People just chewed tobacco. It's just the way it is. Once that Spanish flu came, they blamed it a lot on that. And instantly, things like chewing tobacco, the whole industry collapsed and disappeared. Men wearing facial hair. I mean, did you guys find it amusing that if you look at almost all of the pictures from the latter part of the, 19th century, beginning 20th century, men had big full beards, and that was a sign of manliness. And all of a sudden, after the Great Depression, now beards gone. It just disappeared from society. And, as a great example, this sort of over-the-top sort of fashion style coming out of the 19th century and the emergence of the flappers in the 1920s. This is a great analogy of how our society will probably change very dramatically as we move through this. We have, it's interesting because some of our site members, of course, are super jazzed about things like celestial studies. And this also, too, is a massive transition from celestially and earth-based cycle. And you might argue, and it lasted, a good couple hundred years. And if you think about the building out of things like the railroad industry and coal industry and oil and all that, very earthy metals, all that kind of stuff. And we're transitioning into an air sign, which, gee whiz, internet, social media, all that kind of crap. I mean, it just sort of fits right into the model. Somebody even on Twitter was kind of like, okay, is this it? Are we now in the new cycle? And I just wanted to sort of speak to this, that really these cycles are very slow moving. And the transition window, when we're sitting on the ground, you might not even see it sort of day to day to day. But when you step back and you go, holy shit, look at all the changes going on. My hunch is by the time we get through all of this, our society is going to look very, very different. One of the things that actually I postulated about through the end of the last cycle is, frankly speaking, I was quite surprised at how quickly the Soviet Union just dissolved. It was like this massive entity, and keep in mind, at one point, I was being basically, I don't know what the word is, groomed, if you will, to expect to die on a battlefield in the middle of Eastern Europe, fighting the Soviet Union. That was, I grew up in Los Angeles, and we used to have, duck and cover was a very normal thing in that world. So to see how quickly the Soviet Union just disappeared, I don't know whether this is what's going to happen to the United States of America. We all know, of course, that their financial house is a joke. It's just really a question of when does the emperor, somebody goes, oh, gee whiz, hey, this guy's got no clothes on. The day that happens, my hunch is the whole sort of U.S. hegemony kind of way the world was fashioned through the latter part of the 20th century, that disappears. So it's only really a question of, in my opinion, can the United States of America now continue this fugazi? I think to a certain degree they've gotten away with it. I've shown you repeatedly lots and lots of, and actually it's interesting. I don't know whether YouTube's even working here. So cool. Working here. I always like to just check in on YouTube, see if it's still updating. I don't know whether you guys saw like a really great analogy of sort of some of the things that might be coming down the pike. Is YouTube finally going to be held to task for what I see as a little bit irresponsible? In that they sort of let all the algorithms and all that just sort of take over. And where the hell did I have that? And I noticed that, really, if it's just you and I, company like Google didn't give a shit about us. I was in Palos Verdes, Omar. But now people that actually have some sort of influence in this world are finally stepping up and saying, this YouTube, I mean, every fucking video, I've got the goddamn bots all over these videos shilling all of their crap. And it's almost an insult to people who watch this channel that some clown would go in the comments and say, I turned 2.2 BTC into 20 BTC. Look how awesome I am. Hey, so then I owe it all to Luca Dickhead. Luca Dickhead is an awesome trader and he's the best. Subscribe to his newsletter. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, it's a joke. So I'm actually kind of pleased to see this. It's about fucking time. And also, too, I know some of our site members are super jazzed about Mr. Musk here heading down the AI rabbit hole and is going to have us all plugged into computers here before he's dead. I don't like this shit at all. This smacks of, you're opening up Pandora's box here. I hope I'm dead by the time all this shit comes out. But anyway, that's sort of a fun old man yelling at the future. I don't know. Okay, let's talk some markets. Market. There's a nice little rant to start your video. Actually, one other thing before we jump into markets, might as well make reference. Yeah, and the girls. I get all these girls coming in here saying, hey, Brian, we love you. Yeah, click our link. What a joke, eh? Okay, so before we get going in earnest, I just wanted to mention, it's super important. Remember, guys, I'm not here to shill you. The price of our courses are ridiculously cheap. And in fact, actually, we even, as a marketing team, decided we're going to give you another free bonus here, if you like. So we've got two things I wanted to mention to you. The first is, of course, we have a raffle coming up here for a level 1 seat. The raffle we had planned, and I thought it would be a good idea to have the raffle on Labor Day weekend. Right, we're going to sort of get back to work in earnest. I think the course officially starts this week, 13th through 19th. I think the first class is Sunday the 20th. So we're going to have a raffle 1 week from now. I've asked a lot of people who are interested in the raffle, I've been mentioning it for the past week or so, to go and just simply comment in the videos. Don't tell me about some porno site that you want me to go to. If you want to be in the raffle, just say, please, can I be in the raffle? And what I would like, and I actually see this has actually gone even better than I kind of hoped, is I just want you to tell me something, anything that you've learned by watching these videos. Anything, just something. We've had some doctoral dissertations by some people, and I gotta say, I looked at one gentleman's response and I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know I knew that much. and And he had made specific video reference links to exactly the places where I described this stuff. And I was just like, this channel and the comments alone are an invaluable resource. So thank you. I can't remember who the person was that did that. Thank you. And, if anything, if you're watching this video for the first time, you're like, what the hell is he talking about? Go back and watch a couple of the daily brief recaps. I think it was particularly on the Broiler Chicken Show here that gentleman did that. And just go read through the comments. And I manually go in and delete all the spam and all the BS that YouTube just seems to think that I want. I have no idea why they would think that. So the comments are actually fairly clean and fairly easy to read. And like I said, pointed out a couple comments there where I was just over the top impressed. You people in the public that are watching these videos, you're hearing me. And that makes me so, so happy. If you can, learn how to trade. Hey, look at that. I just got a downvote, probably from somebody who was doing a shill here. Oh, you deleted my spam message. I'm gonna downvote every single video you ever do. Fuck off. This social media shit has just gotten absolutely out of control, eh? You wonder how much revenue a company like Google or YouTube or whatever the fuck it is, how much revenue, because keep in mind, they charge people who advertise a fee based on number of clicks and number of views and, all these silly algorithms that they justify. This reminds me of the Nortel days when the company didn't earn any money at all, but the stock price just kept going up and up and up and up, and they were like, well, because it's EBITDA. Well, we don't have to pay the interest. Look, interest rates are zero, so why do we have to worry about interest? Then all of a sudden the interest rate market shifts on a dime, which it typically does. And then all of a sudden all these companies are put out of business. So, okay, where was I? Point here is we've got a raffle coming up. Rant. Try and put up with my rants. And what I'd like you to do, if you could, is... we're having a bit of a hard time keeping everything, Twitter, Facebook, Google, YouTube page, comments, whatever, all together. If you could just pop on over to this page. I had directed you guys to this page last week, but it turns out Brian's not very smart, and there was a problem with the page. And a lot of you guys, thank you for your feedback. We're like, Brian, what the fuck? What's going on here? So we cleaned that up, and we just put this little note. If you want to get on the wait list for the next term, or if you'd like to be entered into the raffle for a free spot, just pop on this page. I think I've actually put it on the comments. Yeah. So I put it right on the comments, and I don't know what this is going to do to the YouTube. I'm showing you the YouTube page. I'm sure this thing's going to freak out. But I put it right here on the comments. So go pop on that. There we are. So it's going to do a million pictures and pictures. And fire your name and your email address in there. And then that way at least we don't lose you. For those people that did post just a simple comment in the and I'd like to be in the raffle. I'll go through and I'll just sort of pick out all those names, but I wouldn't mind getting an email address from you guys, so then that way, because we had somebody in the past where they won the raffle and then they disappeared and I couldn't find them again. So it's great to have your comments and stuff here, but unfortunately sometimes it doesn't work. So just FYI, pop in here, tell me what your name is. My name is Bob. Here's my dummy email address. It could be just an email, Gmail, whatever. I don't really care. That way at least we can just build the list up. Okay, so if you want to be in the raffle, awesome. And the cool part about this page is, what I really like about this page is David's put it together. It's the same page that we used last term. You want to get to know a little bit about what we do and the kind of positive changes that we make in people's lives. Thank you very much for the downvote. Maybe have a read. I will say that and it's like life. You can please all of the people some of the time. You can please some of the people all of the time, but you're never going to please all of the people all of the time. Never happens. Thank you for the downvotes. So on balance, actually, I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing here. Yeah, we do have customers every once in a while where it just doesn't jibe. Something just doesn't work. And interestingly enough, we did have a situation like that recently. And my simple solution was, look, if you didn't like the product and it didn't work, I'll just give you your money back. I mean, that's the type of guy I am. Don't take advantage of me on that, because we will press you. And if it shows that you didn't pay attention in class, you didn't do the homework, you didn't do the assignments, well, that deal's off the table. But if you put the time and effort in, and you honestly tell me, Brian, I just didn't get value from this, I am more than happy to give you your money back. That's the type of person I am. So as a result of that attitude, we have a pretty darn good review. And, if you want to get to know the positive differences in people's lives that we make, this is a great piece. Also, too, this gentleman here, Marat, this person here, I think I've told you guys in the public, like, the whole reason why I'm doing this is I had a horrible tragedy in my life almost 10 years ago, and I still live the tragedy day in, day out. And the only thing that can justify me still being alive, I mean, it's going to sound horrible, everybody. I'm really sorry to say this, but the only thing that justifies me not killing myself and being with my wife is I got to somehow make her investment in me. She believed in me for almost 20 years. And I went through the whole process of learning this capitalist system backwards. So the only way I could justify my existence on this planet, because I let her slip through my fingers, is I got to make a positive difference in your guys' lives. I've got to make a difference in this world, or her life was meaningless. So here I am. And what I wanted to say is, like, this gentleman here, I don't mean to be rude, Marat. I love you to death. I mean, if I understand correctly, he was just a beat cop in Germany. And, just sort of, just trying to get by. And I think I've honestly made an absolutely remarkable difference in this gentleman's life. I mean, for nothing other than the fact that the son of a bitch is now flying first class everywhere. Thank you, Vincent. I appreciate that. I don't mean to make you cry, Hans. I'll cry myself, right? When I see this kind of image, I didn't ask Marat to do this. I mean, I love Marat. The guy's he's so beautiful. He's strong as an ox, too. Don't get on the other side of Marat. You don't want to be on the bad side of this guy, trust me. But, I've given him. I've opened up a window for him that probably never would have existed before. Hey, Alex. Oh, I miss you so much. I understand you're a dad now, eh, Alex? Awesome. Love that. You're supposed to be moving here to Vancouver, though, aren't you? Anyway, another person on YouTube there I miss dearly. But now when I stand in front of my maker, I can say, look I spent the rest of the time that you gave me, and hopefully JoJo's standing right beside him or her, and I used it productively. I made a positive difference in other people's lives. I know this is going to sound cheesy and a little bit stupid. I'm sorry. But, well, then get your hands in that raffle and let's get you to win that raffle. You know what I found about that raffle? The people who win that raffle, man, they go on to do some great things. Like one of our core traders on the site was a person who won the first raffle, David O. He's a killer trader. And Marat here, Marat's he's a professional trader. He works over at my old prop firm. I think he's ready to move on and fund himself. In fact, the gentleman who teaches our level 2 program, I send him over to Top Step. Here, go, join the prop firm, blah, blah, blah. He worked there for a while, and he's like, there's no reason for me to be at the prop firm. I just trade my own money now, which is perfect. I mean, totally awesome. But let me, and that's what I wanted to say here. Just let me open the door and let me help you. I'm here to help you. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm here to help you. Nuts, eh? I mean, just bookmark all these goddamn free YouTube videos. There must be like hundreds, if not thousands of hours where you can do just like I mean, I have to show you this. It was so stunning. And anybody watching this video later on, just go and copy this. I told everybody at the site, just go and copy this guy's comments and throw it in your damn journal. All of you should have your journals open right now, and you should be writing notes feverishly. Let's see if I have it here. I couldn't believe this person. I honestly couldn't believe it. I was so impressed. I don't know whether it's this one though. Is it this one? No, I think it started with a G, if I remember. Might have been through the week, but wow, it was just over the top. I couldn't believe this guy's response. So you can see lots of people are asking to be part of the raffle, which I think is totally cool. Oh, darn. I was kind of hoping I could show you that. I don't know if anybody know. I know I put the link in the lounge, so if anybody happens to have that link handy, I don't want to spend the next 10 minutes hunting for a link. I can go find it. Oh, thank you, sir. I mean, this is just for you people in YouTube free. I'm trying to help you learn more stuff for free. What an idiot Brian is. Anyway, aren't we supposed to be running a business here? Anyway, all the sappiness aside, I mean, the future is so bright for you, Murat. I'm so optimistic. Is there any way I can buy a Murat future? I mean, I tell you, the futures contracts I'd like to buy are on TRIOGs, because these guys are going to fucking own the world. Anyway, way to go, Murat. It really touched me. And like I said, all I'm asking is most people in the public, most people in our society, you get hurt. You put up a defensive wall. It's completely understandable. I'm exactly like that. Exactly like that. I mean, I look at everything skeptically first. But all I'm asking is, if you watch a bunch of these videos, then I would definitely, I'd buy some Murat calls too, Alex? Was the August 27th DB. Thank you, Kevin. You're like Kevin. I mean, these people are so beautiful. I could start crying again. Jojo, I sure hope you guys are happy over there, because wow. Heading into the end of the summer, I think we're doing some good things here. I really do. No, I don't see it. Did you say the 27th or the 28th? I can't remember. 27th. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna get my head on straight. I mean, this was so cool. I just have to show you, and I'm sure there's lots of downvotes that are coming. I thought you were gonna talk markets.
Hello, everyone.
What the fuck?
Welcome back to the Rationalister.com's Daily Beer.
All right, so this was our crypto and trading ideas. Not a bad idea. You might want to tune into this Monday to Friday, because I tell you, we have a lot of fun and great comments and feedback. Look at this gentleman, right? So this is what kills me about this guy. And there are people like this in the world, and it kills me. I'm not one of these people. But this guy is like, I'm a computer science major. I've got projects going on the blockchain, and I just can't squeeze you in. But here's some of the stuff I have been working on with you. Ready? Boom! And look at all the work he put in. This is incredible. I mean, Jesus H. Christ. My comment here, I mean, it goes on and on and on. And my comment here was just like, holy shit, someone should teach a course on all this stuff. I mean, oh my goodness. I was so impressed with this gentleman's response that I actually took the time just to make sure that he got, he'd put a lot of time and effort into writing this shit down. I just wanted to clear up just a few little sort of things just to make sure he's kicking butt. So, This should give you an idea of the type of person and my motivations here. If you are motivated, if you are proactive, if you can do this on your own, all of the information here is actually given to you for free. I think that task, and like we said, that gentleman is like a half superhero. I know, totally. But we're not all superheroes like that. I mean, hats off to that person. Obviously, they're very intelligent, very proactive, very on top of things, and great notes and stuff like that. The simple fact of the matter is we're not all built like Superman. We all know that, right? So that's why we have the very carefully constructed program that's 3 months in duration that gets you going, and it is very structured, and 2 to 3 hours a week of lectures, and you can go back and watch the lectures a million times over if you want. And then a good 2 to 3 hours of group tutorial sessions with the Griminator, or the Wookiee, who is an awesome trader unto himself. And we have a bunch of TA supports as well. What that gentleman I showed you do, that's not normal. I mean, he's a superhero. But for most of us, we need help. What does the spreadsheet look like every single week after week after week? Look, this is what your spreadsheet looks like. This is what your spreadsheet's got to look like. This is what your spreadsheet's got to look like. This is what, after 12 weeks, you get it drilled into your head. Okay, I think I'm getting the process. And then I also told somebody else, and I think it's super important to understand this, that, keep in mind, this is 30 years of my professional life. Can we distill 30 years and have you as a professional trader in 90 days? That's not really realistic. I think it's important for everybody to understand who's watching these videos. And if you go and watch other, learn how to trade and you can kick ass. You have to understand, and I learned this very, very young in my life, and I've seen this repeatedly. You don't actually ever even know what a job, and if you want to be a trader, that is a job. It is a profession. You don't know what any job really looks like until you've actually been on the job 9 to 5 every day, logging, journaling, taking notes, hunting setups, risk management, demon finder, can I get rid of making mistakes? You don't know what that job looks like until you've done it for a full year. So one of the reasons why I actually like having this level 1 with a little bit of a break, then level 2, then a little bit of break, then level 3, then a little bit of break, is it forces somebody who really wants to learn this profession, it forces them to stick around for a full year. And what I see, and I've been basically teaching this program now for, I guess we started in late 2014, so that's a good 6 years. And what I've seen consistently is you stick around for that year, you show me the logs, the paper trades, the journals, the trading plans, you do the work, and you will be like Marat, flying in first class, wearing the swag. And what's so cool is I'm like, man, you are a total rock star. And he actually turned around and he goes, dude, you're the rock star. And I'm like, oh, blush. Oh, I love you, Marat. So, I mean, could you possibly have a better advertisement for TRI than that image? I don't think so. I mean, that's worth its weight in gold. Okay, so big rant about the school, and I'm sure we've got lots of downvotes. When are you going to talk about the fucking market? One other thing I got to mention, and this is a bit of a feedback from our marketing sort of expert, and we used to offer a free 7-day trial, but he was saying, Brian, people don't really get into the groove of TRI and really understand the value of the lounge and the way that we're just day in, day out in 7 days. So as kind of and frankly speaking, I'm not doing this for the money. So really the most important thing right now for us is just making sure this stupid Slack and Rocket Chat and all that, they get their money, because they charge us per user And the service is horrible. It's actually, you know what? These chat interfaces, it's exactly the same thing as Mr. Wozniak here. What I see is our society, a bunch of these companies have built like algos and said, all right, well, the algos will just take over the business and well, we don't have to hire new people. We just pocket the money and our stock price goes to the moon. IPO, everybody gets rich. Woo! And yet it's bullshit. Half of these businesses are garbage. You know, message to Rocket Chat people. You are telling us you don't want our business. Is that really what the message you want to give to people? We don't really give a shit about you as a customer. It's like a potion for disaster what's going on in our society right now. And I wouldn't be surprised that once we get beyond this election, once we get beyond the potential civil war that's probably going to develop on the other side of this election event, once we get on the other side of China and Russia trying to take advantage of this political weakness, maybe even get into a hot shooting war down there in the South China Sea, that would be kind of cool. Let's get rid of some of those Tomahawk inventories that are building up. I noticed Boeing's trying to put in a W, so maybe they're starting to sniff that the Tomahawks are going to start flying. They're going to get new purchase orders from Uncle Sam. Anyway, I think on the other side of all of this, maybe like, I don't know, probably through 2021, 2022, the broader economy really, starts to feel the pains of all this recessionary stuff, but we start basing and we start pointing towards the new decade. But this is going to be really choppy. And it's stuff like this. I mean, like Apple, for example. What happens if China comes out and says, you know what, we officially are we're going to ban all Apple products in the country of China? What do you think their stock price is going to do? I mean, the United States of America is doing that to TikTok, right? Isn't that a Chinese company? So tit for tat, why not? So I'm seeing there's lots of stuff that are basically going to paint that once this euphoric nonsense is over, we're probably going to have to go through a couple of years of cleaning up here. And that's the way that I see it. So, DS here over on YouTube says, is the level 1 a must to take? Why not go straight to level 2? The issue there, DS, to be perfectly frank with you, is most of our audience, the reason why they're watching this is either they've never traded before, they don't know how to trade, or even worse, they've lost money in the market, quote unquote, trading or investing. So the assumption is all new students do not know the process. And frankly speaking, I don't even want to get in talking derivatives and talking about futures and leverage trading with anybody unless I absolutely know for certain you have been taught the process. So really, level 1 is all about just making damn sure that you understand the process. What's the process? The process is you are actually coming here to run a small business of trading. You want that small business of trading to be profitable. You don't want to go into business to lose money. That's a waste of your time. So if we're going to open up a new business and we expect it to be profitable, then you better learn how you run a small business of trading. And that's basically what the level 1 program is. Once you get this thing called the process, hey, thank you, Andrea. Perfect. Well said. Andrea says you need to learn the process. Once you learn how the process works, then ironically enough, if you follow the process correctly, it's actually extremely hard to lose money at this game. But you got to know the process. Process is all about risk management. Right? Ironically enough, and I don't see this enough talked about in our society. Mr. Barstool, man, he got schooled fucking hard there. Because he did not take the most critical thing you must do with every single trade idea you ever consider. 3 words. First word starts with an R, second word starts with an F, third word starts with an A. And all small business owner operators must look at every single transaction from these 3 words perspective. And like I said, Mr. Barstool, he didn't, and he got his fucking ass kicked there recently. Anybody know what those 3 words are? You want something to learn today? Somebody get your notebook out, get your journals. What are you guys on to? Is this a link that you are referring to, Brian? Could be. I don't know. Close. Anthony, close. Very good. Risk first approach. You must always ask yourself, anytime you ever think about risking money in the marketplace, what is it going to look like if I'm wrong? You must do that. If you don't do that, you will not survive. Simple as that. So, point of the matter here, to answer your question, DS, you know, they always say, like, if you're going to build a building, right, you better have pretty good foundation, right? You got shaky foundation, kind of like think Mr. Barstool. He kind of has the right idea. Hey, you know, this company looks good. Well, it should go up, right? Lots of people are positive. But if you don't have a solid foundation, one wrong move, and the whole fucking house of cards collapses. It's pretty straightforward. And remember, right, I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years. I don't plan on going out of business tomorrow. There's no fucking way I'm going to go out of business tomorrow. I'm going to be here for another 30 years. In fact, you know, it's kind of funny. At the top of the crypto market, people were kind of calling me a shill. And I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here through this whole fucking bear. And congratulations, everybody. You made it through the bear. Way to go if you're a crypto fan. I love the market. If I couldn't be part of the market, that's what would kill me. I don't even give a shit. I know. Okay, fine. Pseudo crypto. Are we gonna look at some charts? I'll look at every single chart. I don't know. Maybe today should just be a fuck you rant day. I don't know. Oh, wow, Brian's got a weird attitude today, that's for sure. Okay, I guess we're done with the rants. But I did want to mention that, where are we here? Oh, I thought I had the page on it. Anyway, there is a 30-day trial there on the Site General subscription. We changed that from 7 days, so I hope you enjoy that. Okay, let's talk markets. Does somebody make reference to that? How far are we in here? Brian babbled away for about a half an hour. Is that what it was? 45 minutes? How long was I? Oh, 42 minutes. Okay, so yeah, I can see a bit long-winded garbage there today. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, I always like to sort of get a bigger picture sort of view of some of the internals just to get, sort of put things into perspective. If we're talking specifically about crypto, let's see. You know, one thing that jumps out at me that should be a concern to everybody is fundamentally now we're not really cheap anymore, right? Everybody should understand that. When these kind of studies start getting into the red line area, we're walking into a frothy market state. So just be aware of that. Does anybody have the current transaction backload for Bitcoin? How long does it take for transactions to process? Does anybody have a cost of those transactions? Also, too, I noticed that Ethereum was ramping up, and I noticed that the cost to do transactions on the Ethereum blockchain is starting to get pretty expensive again. You know, the one thing that absolutely kills this whole concept of decentralized currencies and all that kind of crap is if the cost to actually move money around becomes too exorbitant. And I was passing around, I don't think I tweeted it, but I passed around in the lounge today a really cool somebody tweeted out a really cool graphic on the blockchains operating. I thought it was super cool. And comparing the blockchains versus Ethereum and Bitcoin, stuff like that. I would just simply say that if you start seeing the backlogs start to build up, that is your sign that we are getting near some sort of pivot. I really think that. Does it? Yeah. So this page right here, I thought this was a really cool page. It takes a while to load, so I don't know whether this is going to work here. Hey, you can even do B-Trash. I'm not quite sure. I just clicked on something else before to get here. Okay, so the one that I had before, it was Bitcoin and Ethereum side by side. I saw here, $1.32 for a fee of $11,000. Okay, I mean, I don't know whether that really is a correct percentage kind of analysis that you want to do to come up with a fee. Does this scale depending on the amount of money that you're moving, that kind of stuff. That seems still okay. One thing that kind of bothered me when I saw Ethereum here this morning was these fees are starting to get a bit expensive. Isn't that interesting? So when I was watching this first thing this morning, it was over $11. So I'm not quite sure how the fee to actually use money and use this, but if this is the kind of fee, and you can see it's jumping around all over the place. But if we're starting to get up, this was like 2.5% when it was $11 and the price was like $400. That's some money. They could start pricing themselves out of business. And I remember when Ethereum ran up to like 1,000, whatever it was there, even Vitalik himself said, this is problematic. This whole concept doesn't work if these fees start to get going. So what ends up happening is it's sort of this trade-off between, do you want to wait in line and you wait for your transaction? It might take a while. Or do you want to jump the line, get your transaction done right away, but you have to pay a bunch of fees. So I see the YouTube page. Doesn't even look like it can show this, eh? So sorry about that, guys. I'm showing this Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's a really cool visualization, but I'm not quite sure. Oh, there it now. You can see it just briefly there on YouTube now. So I don't know why it took so long to load. I have a feeling this is extremely memory intensive. But anyway, so the point that I just wanted to make there was, if we start thinking about this from a fundamental perspective, so even pseudo crypto, and hopefully that person who was bitching about me not talking about charts, oh, that was you too, eh? So I think this is actually pretty important information. It's not even looking at charts. It's just trying to understand the fundamentals of what the hell's going on here with this network. And, of course, you see the way the price action is going parabolic. I mean, fuck, this thing, quadrupled over the past 6 months? Is that maybe a little too far too fast? One thing that kind of bothers me about crypto here to a certain degree is too far too fast. This stuff's not... remember, anybody, hey, you want something of value? Write this down. Mr. W.D. Gann believes that, man, that YouTube page sure is slow. I've already closed that page. Is it? Oh, I must be doing something wrong over there. Sorry about that. Oh, damn. I was thinking, I got 3 different thoughts going in my head. Anyway, point of the matter here is, and it'll be interesting to see if people actually start talking about this study. I haven't seen anybody talking about this study at all. But I like to keep all of these things on the screen to just, keep it forefront in my eyes. And the simple fact of the matter is this little indicator here, this network usage, I think it is the tool. I don't have the name exactly correct. It's been for a while now saying, we're not cheap anymore. And the network is getting stressed a bit. Usually what I've found, I've been following this space now for a good 5-10 years. Usually this isn't the best time to invest in Bitcoins. Right? Maybe wait for this thing to clean out. You can see the cycle. Probably sometime. My hunch is probably just like we bottomed in March, the Ides of March. I wouldn't be surprised if we have some sort of panic low next March as well. Okay, so network itself, problems. Cost to do a transaction, problems. Backlog, problems. Those are the anecdotes of tops. So just make damn sure that you're listening. Does that mean that Bitcoin is a value investment right now? Absolutely not. Does that mean that Bitcoin is going to go down in price tomorrow? Absolutely not. Remember, and this is the great part about capitalism, right? Is it's free flow. You have your right. You can buy now if you want. You can sell now if you want. This is why I hate countries like China. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I hate totalitarian dictatorship. Love the people of China. Great people. Hate totalitarian dictatorships. They are literally telling you what you can and can't do with your life. This is why I love the West. I love Canada, love USA. In fact, I hate to say it, but I'm actually extremely bullish of USA right now. But that's just me. I'm a weirdo, eh? Anyway, so we always say markets can remain illogical far longer than anybody can remain solvent. This market wants to remain illogical and keep face ripping up higher here? Okay, just follow the chalk marks. I wouldn't get into the business of making predictions about the future. I used to tell all our students, I did a study back in the early 2000s, and we went back and looked at like all... There was a guy he compiled all of the newspapers from like the... remember this back when we used newspapers. Newspapers might be like the spittoons. Could very easily be. And not a single fortune teller, predictor, not a single one of them saw the fall of the Soviet Union coming. Not one. So don't get into the habit of trying to predict the future. It's impossible. What I would just simply say is put yourself in a position that if, of course, assets do come down into value levels, how do you determine value? What is fundamental value? You could take our course and we can teach you a bunch of ways to try and determine fundamental value in different asset classes. That's a pretty big conversation. What I'll simply say for something like crypto is think cost of production. What does it actually cost to produce these damn things? And it actually makes it fairly simple. POS coins, that's always another question. All right, so one concern that I have, and that's probably this image right here. And actually, this is very well said. You want another thing you can learn from this video, which is incredibly valuable? Usually, when Bitcoin has a big run, it actually like feasts on the altcoins. So you often see altcoins, especially like this Binance and Trex index, they often don't do very well when Bitcoin is on a massive face rip. But interestingly enough, when Bitcoin has had a nice bull and things are relatively uppy, this is the time period when alts can go absolutely nutso. And of course this shit perp, what a great example. Holy crap. What is this? 350 up to 1500. That's almost like a 5-fold increase. Did Bitcoin 5-fold? No. I mean, that's nuts. Actually, maybe it did. It might have. Maybe I should stand corrected there. Where'd we bottom? What is that? 4,800, 3-fold. A little more than 2-fold, but not 5-fold. But the problem here, guys, is this sustainable, right? You got to look at a chart like this, and you just have to ask yourself, is this a healthy, is this a normal, is this a natural move? And our old time-tested rule, it's a little bit difficult with these kind of online sites because you don't really know what the scale is that they've set price and time to. But the time-tested rule is a healthy natural trend is a 45-degree angle. So you tell me, does this look like it's growing at a 45-degree angle? I don't think so. And if anything, the funny thing about all our crazy little TA principles is quite often these kind of studies line up over time. So, I don't expect a dump down into here, but in essence, 45-degree angle just simply means 1 unit of price for 1 unit of time. So if this is a natural move, 50% rule, notice that if price came down, it would be trading at that 45-degree angle, or basically 1 unit of price for 1 unit of time. They say that actually these angles are the derivative of the rate of change. And Gann likes to follow, this would be as 1-to-1, then he will slice that in half, 2 units of time for 1 unit of price. Slice it in half again, 3 units of price time. So the point here is price is moving too far, too fast relative to time. At some point this will have to correct. But as we said before, markets can remain illogical far longer than any of us can remain solvent. The easy way for you to sort of discern, and of course nothing's written in stone. A lot of times these things happen. It's been, 70% accurate, somewhere in that neighborhood, which isn't a bad edge. If you can get anywhere up above 60-65% in edge, you're doing great. But simple concept of M's and W's is a way for you to kind of see that change. And here, clearly, you can see this. What does a W look like? The more it looks like your grade 3 English teacher, or if you have a W in your language, whatever language that is, the happier the grade 3 English teacher is, the better the W. So you'll notice down, up, down, breakout. And if you can get like a nice little M that comes in right in the middle of the W, that is just an insane reversal signal. And sure enough, boom, up we go. You can see sometimes, though, here's a really funny looking one where it went down, then M'd, and then went up, and then broke, but it didn't break down. Nobody said this is 100% right, but, good 70%, So this was actually one of the very first tools I was ever taught in the technical analysis world. In fact, actually, they even call them Dow bottoms and Dow tops, because Mr. Charles Henry Dow was the first North American to plot stock prices on a daily basis. And gee whiz, that stock plotting and the statistical measure of the various stocks that he followed turned out to be something you probably all heard of called the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So M's and W's really help. And as we see right now, and interesting enough with this perp index, they just took it to a new high here, didn't they? Oh, come on, you. Quit fighting me. I don't really see an M here yet. Right? I see up, down, up, oh, down, up, down. Oh, there's a fast little bend. Would your grade 3 English teacher really like that M? Like if you went up to the chalkboard and you said, all right, grade 3 English teacher, there's my M. They're probably not going to like that. Johnny, maybe practice, right? An M, the more she likes it, or he for that matter, what you also see is when we get this well-defined M, it actually looks like the market's smiling at you. Here, yeah, I guess the market's smiling, but it's kind of sloppy. But if it looks like a really well-defined happy face, it's probably trouble coming. So, regardless of where we are right now, I don't have a sell here. And the way that I've been approaching this is just sort of like I went and forced myself to buy a bunch of names when everything was down in the shit. And as stuff percolates higher, I like to sell half of the position on a double, and then that way just get my original money back in my hands, and I don't care what happens to the rest of it. It just does its thing. Obviously, with tax implications, maybe you want to sell like 66% of it so you can pay your tax bill. That's up to you. But the point here is that I like to try and get into that risk-free trade as fast as possible. Um, so, like a typical trade that I would do, and it's stunningly cliche. And, like I had said earlier, when the top of the market came in 17, and I said, I'm not going anywhere. In fact, I will reload on all of this shit when we start showing some sort of, prices coming off. Well, here is a perfect example of exactly that. Where over the past year or two, I've just been slowly nibbling away on this thing. All of my purchases, average cost, comes out to about this level. We got a big pop through the weekend here to a very normal, natural level. Nothing really out of the ordinary here. I make sure to have my order to sell half of all of this that I bought. In fact, actually, I got even a little bit better price than double. And now I've got a little bit of money to pay the tax bill on that sale. And interestingly enough, this is also a fun commentary on how you can see I was actually buying this thing when Bitcoins were actually pretty darn cheap. Well, there's not darn cheap, but 6,000, 8,000, 6,000, 5,000 and change. And here I am selling with Bitcoin at 11,400. So it's a double win. Very typical. This, if anything, is a perfect analogy of that little old lady. Brian, I like this space. I've heard good things about this name. I don't know when the hell the damn thing's gonna bottom. I just don't know. But I would like to try and accumulate some of this. So you can see, even our garbage portfolio that's left over, I think it's got about 5 or 6 Bitcoins sitting on it. I didn't throw the farm at this thing. I put a grand or something, at this. And I just farmed out the better part of $1,500. And I got now a $1,500 vote on this thing for free for the rest of my days. It's not such a bad life. I would strongly suggest, and this is hard to do, this is a great example of, oh my God, this is so difficult. All these market timers, right? Picking bottoms, picking tops. Fuck it. I don't want to go down that road. That's just, I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. I'm an accountant. I got a full-time fucking career. I'm doing other things. I've heard good things about this, so how am I going to participate? Well, you're just going to throw yourself on a nice little nanny nibble strategy, and every once in a while you're going to come in and just keep adding to the position. But you have to be sharp in this space, because this rally, boom, boom, it's gone. And you have to make damn sure to have your open orders working. And that's just being a professional at working your profession. You have to have all the I's and T's dotted and crossed. So this is the kind of market state we're in right now. Could I come in and justify buying this thing up here? No. Right? If I did want to buy this, I would draw whatever this peak is and do reload zones. And the irony of it all is my hunch is the reload zone to buy this is probably right back down at this bottom. And once this blow off top peak is done here, through the fall, and I don't see any stop to this yet. We might see, if we're lucky, we might see this go on for the next week, and then maybe when the adults come back after Labor Day weekend, then we get a bit of a pause. We're in a kind of a funny window right here, because technically the summer's basically over. But because Labor Day in North America, it falls on the first Monday in September, you notice the first Monday in September is 31st. So that means that technically the big holiday is actually the 7th. All the kids, now I don't know whether you want to be I suppose ironically enough for the kids, they probably want to go back to school. They're sick and tired of being at home. But in years gone by, especially when I was a kid, we'd all go, woohoo, an extra week of summer vacation, right? So we might be in a really odd little sort of vacuum here over the next week, which could let more of this happen. Tell you, I got some couple other bigger positions in the altcoins that I would just love to see run. I got one in this. What the hell is that damn thing? I think it's this ant. Not GNT. I think it's this ant. Yeah, here. Ironically enough, this was just one that I really liked it, and I don't know why, but I just kept accumulating. And she's just gone absolutely apeshit. So, and I'm just going to work my open order. I have no idea if this is going to hit or not. This is very fluffy. No fucking way I could come in and buy up here. But if I can get my the price to perk up into here, I will definitely be letting them have some of this. And isn't this incredible? I mean, if I had showed you guys this chart back in last winter and said, yeah, this thing's probably going to go out and break that high, you would have said I was full of horse shit. So why you're teaching us Fugazi? What are you, some BitConnect kind of guy? You're teaching us a scam? And yet, look at that. Bam! That's capitalism for you. Long ape shit. Oh, okay. Well, we'll show that. I'm not quite sure what that reference is, but thanks, Big House. So, here is another example. If you can force yourself to come in at the bottom end of the range. I mean, we're already sitting on just ridiculous profits right now, but it's such a big position. I'm not really in a big hurry because if I do actually sell, there's going to be a big tax bill on this one, and I don't want to sell. So I'm like, fine. You really going to force me to sell? Fine. I'll sell up here because, I'm a demonstrator of best practices and I say sell half on a double. Fine. But I don't really want to step in front of this because it's going to be a big tax bill, which I don't like. And it's funny because I used to have clients who did the same damn thing. It used to kill me. This thing hasn't topped out, and I'm not in any hurry here whatsoever. But I used to have clients that say, well, no, Brian, I don't want to sell because then I'm going to have to pay taxes. And it's like, oh, but it's topping out. Well. How do you describe this market? This market, in my opinion, right now, we're in the fluff. This is the fluffy fluffs, right? Do you guys remember back in the winter time, we drew these funny little chaos levels back off of these lows, and we came up with just insane chaos levels. And people actually were quite critical of me on things like social media for putting out, now he's touting the moon. And yet that number right there, 11,693, and look where we are. I mean, that's just insane, eh? I tell you, if you're gonna learn something, learn this fucking Foggenbaum shit, man. Damn, that's ridiculous. So, I showed you a gold chart. I think I did it through probably just on the site and stuff. I don't know whether I showed you guys this stuff. But quite often what I see happens is you'll get like harmonic levels and where's the damn chart? I don't know what I did with there's so many charts. Oh well, I guess I lost it. I don't know what I did with them. Where's that chart that I show you guys on the daily brief recaps? Over here. Nope, not that one. Let's try that again. How about over here? There we go. So what I often see happen in the market is you'll get like you can see the bot here, consolidation. And this was a big jump up, bang, bang. And we had to consolidate. So if we actually go up through the top there, then you can start thinking about this upside objective. Also, too, when we do our little Foggenbaums, chaos levels, you can see this little resolution range. I guess this here to here, that's probably the actual most important one right there. That didn't hit that number, did it? 2089.20, 2087.90. Fuck, that's crazy. Okay, so I'm not quite sure which one it is that I've got here that nailed that. I think it was this one here. But anyway, point of the matter here is you see all these chaos levels. When we start getting up into this level, you have to look for some sort of consolidation. And in this particular case, it was a pretty violent move back down. once these levels have been hit, that energy that was built up through this has been dissipated, right? And botters, they're getting out here taking profits. So you can almost think of this as we're coming into these levels. People that were excited about being bullish here, they're not so excited about being bullish anymore. So as a result, the one-way inertia of the market coming out of this consolidation, it's losing its steam because now you actually have people who are starting to sell. So, if you want to see a further move higher, you got to wait for a consolidation. I ideally like to get 3 higher lows. That way it gives me a nice base to work with, and then I can start doing my fog and bomb levels and all that. But you can see in the gold market, we've gone through a good chunk of the correction process. You can see how the next bot is setting ourselves up here. And if we can just, politely put in another higher low, and then away we go. 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows, and away we go. And, of course, we can start, if this W is actually legit, then we can start doing fog and bombs. And that wants to take us up to 2,500. And really, that makes more sense to me because 2,500 is a super, super important psychological level. We get up into 2,500, then you should consolidate around there, and then just think about it. If we resolve through 2,500, where's the next logical big fat round number? Anyone? 2,500. What kind of scale would that be working in? Maybe think of $1. How do we break $1 down? Is 2,500 similar to something that we like to use in dollar land? Another downvote! Woohoo! Party! Nope. Good try, Anthony. Good try, Vincent. 2,500. The next big fat round number. 5,000. Yeah. Maybe that's what our ultimate blow off top peak could be. I don't know. I do hear a lot of sort of market pros and stuff saying they're expecting 2,300. I could see in a big orgy, kind of like what we just saw here, that we ultimately hit this 2,500, which would be, psychologically probably a more appropriate number. We can also, and I've done this on crypto too with you guys in the past, a lot of fun. You can actually just simply draw trend lines off of the old peaks and then just say, okay, and actually I think this is a higher peak, isn't it? So there. So you can say, all right, well, if we just play connect the dots, how might that look? So there to there, and then there to there. So in essence, our peak probably, if anything, it's interesting how that trend line there, where is that? That's that one there. Let's maybe make that a little bigger. Interesting how that actually defined where the market stopped recently. Really great analogy. This is like high to high to high trend lines. My hunch is we're probably going to work our way through sort of like this band here. But we might get a blow off top like this and then have to work our way back down to the band. Anyway, point I'm trying to make here is we're heading into this cycle apex. I don't hear anybody saying anything bearish of gold right now, like fundamentally. I don't hear a single person saying at all anything bearish. Hey, good job, Anthony. Take it easy, bud. So it's just really a question of, in my opinion right now, what is the confidence in the U.S. dollar? What is the confidence in the U.S. Federal Reserve Board? What is the confidence in the United States government to actually support its dollar? That's what I think is in question here. And ironically enough, gold's just literally being used as a proxy to not be in U.S. dollars, which makes sense, right? A classic fear asset proxy. So I wanted to walk you through all this. Of course, if I was going to be long these fear assets, store of value, that kind of thing, you know me, I'd much rather be in Bitcoin and crypto than gold. But that's just me, I know like guys like Dav, they're going to make fortunes in silver and stuff like that. I do have a bunch of junior VCIM venture cap investment model It was an old investing model taught to me by an old VSC floor broker a million years ago. God, wherever you are, Chris, God rest your soul, or hopefully you're still with us. Anyway, they lots of names in the mining space. Ironically enough, actually, one of my favorite investments right now is in fluorite. How ironic! I'm getting a whole bunch of work done on my teeth through the summer. that's got to be poetry. This one stock is going in the fluorite mining industry is going to make me all of the money that I spent on fixing my teeth. So there you go. That's poetic justice. Anyway, fluorite is where they come up with fluoride for your dental work. So I do have a bunch of proxies in the venture cap space, and the venture cap part of the market is just looking sexier than hell right now. The insiders and all that getting long. Oh my God, just like I think I've shown you guys in years gone by the CDNX, the Canadian venture market, has basically been in an absolute disaster of a bear for literally since the end of the Chinese Olympics in 2008. So what is that? That's 12, 13 years now, eh? 2007, 2008. So they're finally waking up. So it's great to see activity in the venture cap space, which of course I suppose also helps crypto venture capital. In a weird sort of way, I guess it makes sense. If the stock market venture capitalists are starting to get happier, it should make sense that the cryptocurrency venture capitalists are starting to get happier. The only problem, of course, is this too far too fast? Remember I did that 45-degree angle with you guys? I'm thinking it is too far too fast. But at the same time, too, I'm not stepping in front of this train and calling tops because we could have another leg higher here. I doubt it, but we could. And like I said, don't get into the business of predicting the future because usually it'll prove you wrong. So that's sort of like where are we in the bigger picture? The network is getting stressed. Transaction costs are going up. Time spent in the backlog is going up. Those are all the hallmarks of a top. Just you better get used to that. My hunch is at the top, we're going to see things like over 100,000 transactions in the backlog waiting to be processed. We're going to see fees to actually get your transaction at the front of the line super, super high. And I think it's important as, crypto professionals, crypto enthusiasts, people who want to make money from trading, you have to respect that. We have the altcoin market going parabolic. That also is another testament to late move. It's the end of the summer. This is exactly when the shitcoins are supposed to be rallying. That's another tell. What worries me here, though, is I get the feeling because this year is so unique that I think we're actually going to just keep on going up here, which scares the hell out of me. Because it will mean that, we're probably going to have to spend a year or two, maybe to 2021, 2022, cleaning up a lot of this stuff. Remember, again, too far, too fast. I mean, hell, I'm happy. You want to pay me big time? Look at these moves. They're ridiculous. Ubic here. It doubled through the weekend. That's nuts. Damn Ubic. They left me behind, bastards. I had my bid working right down here, and they never filled me. Jerks. But like this Ant, this is insane, right? From 0.00019, let's call it 0.002 or something like that, up to, what is that? We're pressing 0.001. So that's like literally a 5-fold increase in the period of like a month. Is that sustainable? I don't know. I'm not going to step in front of this. That's for damn sure. But at the same time, too, can't be buying stuff like this. There's no way in hell I could buy something like this. What's something that I might be interested in? Of course, that's always what you guys want to know. You know, I get the distinct impression that Link is actually kind of like our silver and gold. Can you see the similarities in the Link price action? You can see the bullish bot. You can see one low, two lows, three lows. Got a very well-defined W right there. Buying this W ahead of the actual 25 level. I like to call this front-running the bot. So I think I remember on our daily briefs on the site on Friday, we were like, holy geez, pay attention here. So you don't get to move your stop on this trade until we actually press up and test these old highs. So who knows what's going to happen. The trade's just started, right? We would call this like sort of like we're in babysitting mode right now. So we could do anything in here. You're still babysitting. Once we get up into these levels, test this old high, then you can start doing things like, okay, I'll move my stop up to where my entered here. I'll move my stop to the 25 level since I entered here. Even if I do get stopped out on that move, well, so what? I make a little bit of money to pay for commissions and shit. And then, of course, you know, if we can ramp, you're looking for objectives up top here. Yeah, I didn't really like the way these trend lines set up here for me. Remember, I like to see W's on the other sides of trend lines. I would have preferred that this was just a V-top here, and then it did this. That would have been, oh my God, get all fucking all over this. But because it M'd out here up top, you can see this level's still in play as far as I'm concerned. So we'll see how this goes, but it's just a great analogy. And if anything, this is a really, really good analogy of if you're a trader, your opinion is completely meaningless. I haven't got a fucking clue what's going to happen here. I mean, if I had momentum signals and stuff like that coming in here, I'd be like, well, if I trade a bot and bot is in my trading plan and I didn't take this trade, well, that's where the problem lies. So, you know, as a trader, I mean, me personally, I don't really like the idea of coming in and buying way up top here. You can see where I wanted to be buying. So this is another example of, gee whiz, is this sustainable over time? Is this, healthy natural growth rate? Probably not. Could we continuation our way higher here? Absolutely. No reason why it couldn't. And if you are a trader, bot trader kind of idea, and this presented it yourself, I'd actually, if you were a student of mine, you said, here's my trading plan, I trade bots. And yes, I really like Link, and this is a story that's in my fundamentally screen list. I'd be like, well, why are you not in this trade? What's wrong with you? Like a typical dickhead. Anyway. So what are kind of the things I am interested in? Actually, and this is why I love our community so much. I mean, every single day. Hey, check this one out. Hey, check this one out. So, Kavarkinator, he happened, and of course, I think there were a few other people on the site that were also mentioning it. I mean, you tell me. I'm not shilling here. I don't know if this thing's going to go up or down, but we trade setups. And you tell me. I don't know whether this thing's going to survive the cull, right? Every bear market, there's always a cull. I do find it very interesting. We were talking about on the site, a lot of the names that Trex kicked off, if you had just taken those coins, put them on a wallet on your own computer, they were all relisted again. So I'm not saying these culls are fair. That's systemic risk. That's a conversation you have to have with that BitterX Bill guy. But the point here is that this is a great example where you tell me, if I throw $1 at this idea, what do you think the odds are that I could make that $1 turn into $2? I'd say pretty good. Are there any letters of the alphabet that are trying to form here? Who was that guy that was like, quit fucking ranting about your emotional crap, Brian, and get on with a goddamn value and charts and shit? Where is that guy? Pseudo crypto. What letter of the alphabet do you see coming in here? Thank you, Vincent. The point here is that, I can't spend your money for you. I can tell you, I'm in here on the buy side. We'll see what happens. I'm not shilling this. I couldn't care if you buy it or not. But, if you've watched this channel long enough, wow, look at that. He's not even here. I guess he left, eh? He probably threw in a downvote as well. You can see how irreverent I am. I don't care. Half of the reason why I like doing this is I just have fun at this. If I was all obsessed about views and links and shit, I would actually hire somebody else to do these videos. Because I'm a terrible person to be. There's one guy on YouTube, and I was sending his channel and shit out to people. And the guy makes like 5-10 G's a month just in his stupid YouTube algorithm, get those fucking clickbait nonsense shit going, right? You want to play that game? Fine. I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube comes along and cuts all those payments again, just to piss all the... And maybe Steve Wozniak can sue them and get all our money back from those bastards. I don't know. Steve Wozniak for the win! Anyway, so you guys interested in something that I might be interested in? This is something I might be interested in. How about that guy doesn't float your boat? There was one little power ledger that came down, and it looked really interesting. Nanny Nibbles, take little bets. Geo, I love Geo down here. Fantastic. Watch Decred. You could see. In fact, actually, I was telling people on the site. You tell me, just look at this chart. Has this thing got any potential to make us money if we go in and even nanny nibble right down here? I think so. I'm not saying this thing's going up tomorrow, though. That's not how I operate. Are you going to be hearing, hey, Beamish is banging out doubles again? Probably. But that's really a question of what's your plan? How are you going to invest your money? What's your strategy? What's your time horizon? What kind of money are you going to put into this? Right? All that kind of shit's got to be answered ahead of time. Anyway, point of the matter here is, people are interested. What are you interested in right now, Brian? I really like a story that looks like that. And I thought it was interesting the other day, right back down into reload zones, and gee whiz, what letter of the alphabet is that trying to form? Where's that... I know, it's a fantastically robust universe now, eh? I will say, though, I have been seeing a lot, and probably what's going to kill this bull is I've been hearing a lot and reading a lot about, what the hell is that damn three-letter acronym? MER or MVR or something like that. And it was like, uh-oh. So you can see, in fact, I can see the next bear is going to look something like this. Sorry. I love that picture. That's great. No, not like that. Gee whiz. Brian, get your act together. There's Steve Wozniak. Where the hell was that thing I put out this morning? It's called MVR or something like that. Somewhere in here we were talking about this morning. Yeah, here, this. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I'm familiar with this person. But MEV. Wow. You should really, if you fancy yourself a crypto person, you better get pretty damn familiar with this. Because to me, I think, look at this, what's MEV? So I don't even think many people in this space even know what an MEV is. But I took some time and I tried to understand. This gentleman was asked by another person who is very, very smart in this space to work on a problem that he had, and it was almost like they were like, uh-oh, what kind of rabbit hole has this thing created? Yeah, here we are. Ethereum is a dark forest. Now that was interesting. Even on this piece, Vitalik actually was like, Well, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. You don't have to go down this road. But these people were trying to fix a problem. It was and it turns out that on this internal network, if I understand it correctly, there are actually algorithms and bots and stuff that are actually watching everything that's done. And if they happen to see an opportunity to go and grab your money from you, for one reason or another, of course, I'm not the best crypto person to explain this, but if you are a crypto smarty, you better understand what this what is it, MEV issue is. And I think this is going to be the Achilles heel of this. From what I understand, what I'm hearing is there are still hackable hacks out there. And my hunch is a hack is coming down the road. And that's probably what kills this bull. But, oh well, only time will tell. Just make damn sure to pay yourself before that happens. Right? And play from a position of strength. Don't get caught. Right? You don't want to get caught playing from a position of weakness. Not smart. So buy W's. Take appropriate risks. And, of course, make damn sure to pay yourself when the ideas start moving in your favor. All right. So, I thought this was really cool. And Mr. Don't get any value listening to Brian's pointless rants. Can you see how this thing's trying to W here? If this thing does W here in this reload zone, that's going to start creating new chaos levels. And you might have a half decent trade. You can see I've already got the level already marked out. And the interesting thing about this off of these chaos levels is actually there's some chaos levels floating out here that have not been hit yet. So I look at that and I gotta go, that's got an interesting appeal to it. So that's the kind of thing that interests a guy like me. Is there any guarantees this is gonna make money? No. It's just it's a trader's life. You just gotta get in there and hunt setups. Probably the best thing for us to do. Jesus, yeah, I blabbed way too long there at the beginning, eh? Sorry about that, everybody. But probably best now. Why don't we just wind this up? You get, there's interesting. I might be willing to come in off the bottom end of this range on Dash. I did get a little fill there recently, so don't go and take this damn thing off here. Can't get filled on my auger. I totally want to get in on some more auger down here. Can't get filled, bastards. I was very, very patient on this Geo. And I was able to get some. I think I had a bid working. It was like right down here. Oh, this is over on Binance. That's why. So I had my order over on Trex, and I think they dipped it. This is not the right asset, though, is it? Why am I over here? Over here. There we are. There's your Trex. So this is one, and it doesn't surprise me. They were trying to ramp this thing. And while they were trying to ramp it, Ubiq was taken off, and this thing's on the Ubiq network. They just wouldn't give me any fills. So I had to be patient. So I finally got my double bottom fill order filled there, and I got one more down at the bottom here, so I'm just waiting. And this thing's pretty thin, so it's not like we're in a really big hurry. Total nanny nibble, little old lady. This thing's, it's ridiculous how much room this thing's got to move up here. Look at this. Look at what they do to this thing when they ramp it. This is insane. This could probably, where's Josh? This could probably buy your Tesla for you if you're just patient and disciplined and wait for the stupidity to come back into the market. So that's the kind of name that I'm interested in accumulating down here. So go figure. Not very sexy, probably kind of boring. Probably a lot of you are like, oh, well, this isn't DeFi. I want the DeFi names. Honestly, I'm a little bit leery about that space. It's really hot. People love it. Awesome. If I happen to have names in that space that work, I think that one of the reasons why this Argon was running up is I think it's in that space. I don't know that for certain, though. Don't quote me on that. But you can see A, B, C, D, and what's killer is if this thing goes and consolidates here and breaks out, I could start doing, I doubt it will, but it might, you never know. I could start doing chaos levels like that. I don't know. It's crazy. I suppose crazier things could happen. All that would mean is they're just going to take this thing up to the old highs. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens. 50% level and probably into this level here is probably stiff resistance. And for whatever it's worth, I got a bunch for sale up here around 12 and change. So we'll see if I'm lucky. We might actually get a fill here and then see it within 24 hours. It's all the way up here. It could happen. I mean, that's venture capital for you. So I won't be selling everything. And then, of course, if it doubles again, you see 12, 24s right here. I mean, if it does pop up there, I'll let them have some more. So, anyway, that's sort of what I'm seeing on this crazy guy. Is this guy one of these DeFi plays? I don't know. Any of you guys? Oh, actually, there's not even anybody here today. Wow, look at that. Huh. Cheryl, Andrea, Cole, you guys know? Kevin? I guess Kevin, are you here? I don't know if Kevin's here or not. Let's see. Our fascist cunts. Wow, there's a statement. I didn't say that. If anyone is after some 9 bars going cheap, give me a shout. 9 bars. I don't know what that means. Stella! XLM. We love XLM. XLM is a fun name. I got a ton of XLM all over the place. Stellar Lumens. This reminds me, Stellar Lumens reminds me of Michael. Kevin, do you remember Michael? Remember he was a fun guy. I think he was from Colorado. Anyway, he came up with a big call on Stellar Lumens, and I was like, dude, believe in yourself. And he's like, okay, Brian, I'll believe in myself. And he got fucking stinking rich. So, way to go. One of these sites, maybe Trex or something, has the old chart. And really, are you going to be doing STR or XLM? I always found that amusing, that this guy's sort of schizophrenic. Where is the lumen? Well, XLM. I don't know, we'll do USD. Get a half decent look at this chart. Oh, Phoenix. This probably has the best one. There you go. So, just knee jerk. And again, I don't know what the highest high is here. It's probably a hell of a lot higher. But knee jerk would be just, what's a 50% rule? Right? That's always your knee jerk reaction. So, in essence, naturally, you can clearly see that this is the middle of the range. Probably all the people that actually did want to take bets when this thing first came out, they're all in here. And then, of course, wicks and tails like to be eaten. And why would we see horizontal support and resistance at these levels? Well, just think about it. There was a bunch of people that sort of FOMO bought. This was the next best thing since sliced bread. Into these candles. Remember, TRIers, we buy these W's. We're not going to be buying when it does this kind of stuff. So who is this buying? That's the public. There's our 50% level. This is just the natural retracement of the entire range. And then if we zoom out, you get something that looks like that. And my hunch is these are probably up in reload zones. Or in essence, if this still is a bear, and the bear wants to defend the trend, where are they likely to defend it? So usually that starts at 61.8 all the way up to 78.6. And you can see all these horizontal support and resistance levels, all these old trap bulls that would love nothing more than just try and get the hell out and just get some of their original money back. They're probably going to be pretty hard on the sell side here. What I do like about this one is hopefully you can see we have a pretty well-defined head and shoulders. So it sure looks to me like she's gone through the fractal process. Problem here is, can you buy that level? Probably not. What do you think I'm going to say? Who asked me to look at this? What do you think I'm going to say if somebody said, Brian, where can I start to think about buying this? Mr. Big House, if that is your real name. Bart Simpson. Oh, sorry, Santos, if that is your real name. You'd have to, that was a Simpsons reference from back last century. I don't even know if that's still on there. Anyway, if I wanted to buy, I would simply take my reload zone tool, and what a surprise. You know, and interestingly enough, you can see exact opposite. Right? If we think horizontal support and resistance, where are the, if we're a bear, and where are the old trap bulls going to want to get out? Well, you can use the same logic going the other direction. Obviously, there was somebody who panic dumped into here. It looks to me, in fact, actually, we could probably even do a little chaos off of this here, right? Boobity-boo, boobity-boo, boop-ish-moo, cooby-doo. And bang! All right, well, that definitely explains that high. Look at that, eh? And actually interesting, right? So we hit the chaos level. Things start to settle down, and gee whiz, here comes another little W. I mean, it's not really the best one, but we could probably do one here. Boop-a-da-boop. All right, so coming into here, and look at this choppy, 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 choppy. Very choppy. This looks chaotic to me. We could probably also look at this range. Keep in mind there's a bunch of trap bulls all in here. So where would sort of, you know, if I'm a bear and resistance is going to come in, where should I expect that? Right up in this area. So we've got this 877. 877, interesting. I'm still kind of trying to figure out how that works into all this. I like this chaos thinking, and actually what I really do like, this is, yeah, all you bulls, you're going to love this. You can almost think of this huge head and shoulders as one of these big honking chaoses. And I get the impression that the neckline looks like it's somewhere along there. So if that's the case, then we probably should do something like that. Let's see what that gives us. Bang. Where are we? Oh, nice. So there you go. There's 0.186. Interesting how that's, I guess what that implies is, can you see how this old market structure? I'm not quite sure exactly where it would come in. But you can see these old lows, that low, this low. So I think it makes sense that as we come into here, the people that sort of put the bottom in here, they probably will want to get out as well. So we often see that. Like if you go and look at like any kind of bull or bear market, you can do these lines, and what a coincidence this high is in such proximity with this low and that high right there. It's not an accident stop there. As it sort of stair steps its way, and we can do the same thing, stair steps its way higher. Anybody know what that's called? Let's see if anybody on YouTube knows what that's called. Anybody? If we have a market structure bottom and it runs up and then it comes back and it checks, think of that horizontal support and resistance I just said, checks that, finds buyers that come back in, and it heads higher. What do we call that? It actually has a very specific name. So as it stands right now, could I come in on the buy side on this? No, nobody got that, eh? Oh, well. No, can't come in on the buy side there. In fact, actually, we got a little bit of a trending down signal right here, right now. So I wouldn't be in a big hurry to do anything here. Have my open order selling at appropriate levels. I mean, if I had the fucking kahunas to step in here, that's 0.04, so 0.08. Let's let some go. So that's into that rally, into the chaos level. Awesome, love it. Right, so my next sell order would probably be up around 16 or so. So where's that? So that's up in here. Oh, right up against these highs. That's pretty much what I would be right now. And I would be saying, since I already sold half on a double, I got my original money back. Can I reload? That's the whole reason why I use the term reload. And if I'm going to reload, because remember, I got free coins now. Got my original capital back in my hands. So if I'm going to reload for another car, where should I be thinking? And that is somewhere down in here. Now, I mean, here's the thing with something like this. I'm not calling a top. Not even really calling a bottom. All I'm saying is, if I do actually want to come in on the buy side, this is where I have to be patient and disciplined and wait for it. And sometimes this might take just as long as it took to go from March to September, it might take just as long to work its way right back down. So it's not like this is telling me I'm going to be doing any business anytime soon. And also, too, kind of like what I was showing you with with that little the go, for example. I mean, just because we're down at the bottom end of the range now, I got to work my bids and I have to be patient. Sometimes waiting for those bids to get filled, like Ubik, what a piss off, cocksuckers, totally left me behind. I can't chase, right? So if I missed the trade, I've missed the trade. Okay, why don't we leave off today with just a quick boo at the big boys, just to give you an update of what I sort of think I see happening here. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how CryptoKitties, that kind of thing, is doing. Does anybody still have their CryptoKitties? How about all you people over on YouTube? Any of you still got your CryptoKitties? No? I don't know whether DeFi follows that same path. It's very fluffy. It's a very euphoric kind of market state. Way too late for me to be a buyer on any of these three names. It's interesting how Litecoin still, if I understand correctly, is still trading below its cost of production. So people who are mining Litecoin are still losing money. I'm not quite sure how that works into the equation. Did hear old darlings, like things like ETC, are actually coming under 51% attacks. So keep in mind, if your price of your altcoin gets down too cheap, or cryptocurrency, whatever, it could definitely come under 51% attack kind of conversations. Ironically enough, it's at those levels that's actually where you see like the ETC people scrambling around trying desperately to defend the idea. If they can defend the idea and it holds, well, maybe that's value. None of these, definitely no Bitcoin. There's no concern about 51% attacks right now. The issue here is, are you coming into an expensive market? Network is telling you this is expensive. Transactions, right? All that kind of talk. How long does it take to get a transaction done? What is the cost to get a transaction done? Those will be sort of the tells of whether this is getting a little bit ridiculous. I guess the way I look at it right now is we will probably continue to head higher until something comes along that kicks everybody in the shins. Is it something like ETC goes under because of 51% attack and everybody starts freaking out? I think that's limited to the ETC story, so I don't think that that is something that has legs. That's just Brian. DeFi and this issue of this MVE, I think it was. Can't remember if I got the acronym right here. This could, because everybody's so in love with this this DeFi part of the space, this could be something where you get kicked in the shins and the whole damn thing falls apart. So until you actually see MEV, thank you. Such an idiot. Until you actually see that, oh, fuck me, something big and ugly just happened, I think the path of least resistance is higher here, not lower. We just using this chart, we had a great conversation with the whole community about when you start seeing bearish divergence, and this happens to be a really simple RSI study off a 4-hour chart. I just happen to have this on here. It's not like I'm touting anything in particular, but nonetheless, higher highs in price, lower highs in your momentum indicators. This is problematic. Something's not right. So we have a simple rule at TRI that if you see bearish divergence in your indicators, well, you probably just better cool your jets if you're a bull. And what you want to do is you want to wait for this to clean up and actually start painting higher lows. lows and higher highs, which it did through here, right? Especially the breakout right through there. So, boom, up we go. Then you can see we may start making higher highs in price, and all of you can use this. Where's Mr. Quit telling us your emotional garbage and get on with the fucking price charts guy? Pseudo crypto. Can you see when this went into bear divergence, the best thing for you to do was cool your jets? Can anybody else over on YouTube? There's 100 of you sitting over there. Can any of you see this? I mean, this is the value of all this, right? And this is why you put up with Brian's crazy emotional rants, right? I don't know. Jesus, this is kind of weird. I'm just not having that much interaction with the people on the call here today. Hey, there's Vincent. I think, Vincent, you're the only guy actually listening to me. Anyway, point of the matter here is this bearish divergence in momentum was problematic, and it had to be cleaned up. And lo and behold, what do you see happening here? Hello. And even here. Look at the little W that came right in off of that trend line too, eh? That's sick. This to me, actually, if I'm not mistaken, oh no, it isn't quite. Came close. You know, guys who would actually follow this on a clothesline basis, and there are some people that do that, it's totally fine. They would call this a confirmed divergence, right? Lower lows in price, higher highs in higher lows in RSI, and then a breakout. So, ironically enough, at this point right now with the corn, let's see if any of you can remember what I just said there. If you are a bear in Bitcoin right now, what should you be doing? Oh, I think that pseudo guy. Oh, there he is. There he is. He's still here. So, Mr. Pseudo Crypto, you see the confirmed bullish divergence here. What should you be doing if you are a bear? This is tough. Because a lot of people want to be like, oh, is this the top? Hey, is that the bottom? Is this the top? Is that the bottom? Right? And that's it. They just leave the conversation at that. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to wait here until Pseudo Crypto answers. Come on. You can do it, Pseudo. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Either cool your jazz. If you're yeah. Well, the point here is that, and you know, if you're a crypto bull, you should be pleased at what you see here. First off, you know, through this topping pattern, we didn't really have any bullish volume on the other side of that. Where the fuck did the bulls go? And then all of a sudden, the bears are like, here I am, here I am, here I am. But then the bears actually started to back off. And probably the most important bar on this entire chart is this one bar right here, where the bulls woke up and kind of smashed all the bears' action here. And you notice that the bears really can't really respond. So this one candle, and notice that was right into the dump, like, oh fuck, are we going to collapse? And they turned it around and they forced it to close green. Let's see what that candle looked like. Oh yeah, look at that. It was a huge shooting star. They tried to break it out and then it came back down. But the bulls were kind of like, well, you know what? We want to get going, damn it. They were just a little bit early, it looks like. Unfortunately, if you are a bull, I want to buy. Remember what we saw here, right? This is really what you want to see. Do you see how, as we're consolidating here, notice the bears calming down, just going away. They tried to wake up here to a certain degree, but that was actually after this little breakup. But notice this, right? See these green bars here? Look how they blasted through that high there, that high there. Yep. So really what ends up happening here on your volume study, hopefully you can see this, is we actually start making a W. I don't know whether you can see that or not. It's not really the best example. But down, up, think of this level right there. Down, breakout. Breaking out through that volume bar right there. I had said to me that this signal had come a little bit late, so I couldn't really take the trade. I think the trade, if you will, was just simply to buy this massive W right there. Eh? Down, up, down, breakout. And then there was another little W inside there. But this, I think, right here, and especially these volume bars right in here, was your confirmation that, hey, the bull has taken over. And, of course, you look at your RSI study, higher highs and higher lows defines the bull market, blah, blah, blah. I think I've talked to you guys in the public videos before about resolutions through 50 line on your RSI study. Can you get W's through 50 lines? So lots and lots of sort of bullish confirmation all through here. Volume ramping up, and then, of course, like I said, we had our double bottom in price. And what was really cool about through this was I really like John Bollinger. I think he's a super sweet guy. Very smart market participant. So anytime I can toot his horn, I definitely will. But his Bollinger Bands, they tightened up dramatically through that window. And that is a classic Bollinger Band squeeze breakout. Let's see. Do I have that on here somewhere? Bollinger Bands, do I have you? No, I got it on one of these charts. It's a pretty good example. So many charts. My head's going to explode. Here we are. Bollinger Bands. Yeah. So, with the bands as wide as they are right now, technically this is our, our volatility trading range. Top of the range. Hopefully you guys can all see this. It should be pretty obvious. Can you see sort of the head and shoulders that's trying to come in? Remember good old Brian? Remember that gold chart I showed you just a few minutes ago? And how if we're gold bugs, we really want to see one higher low, right? Then another higher low, then another higher low, right? Which creates our nice little triangle, which gives me 3 lows to risk against for my bot to take us up to new highs. So we don't really have enough here to actually even think about that kind of conversation yet. What it looks like to me, and this is basically the message I've been giving to my community, is top end of the range, bottom end of the range, and right now we are range bound, having lots of fun. In fact, actually, I think, you can see it right there, right? And how ironic. I mean, this is so cliche, it's ridiculous. Do you see how we came down to the bottom end of the range and came into reload zones? And gee whiz, there's a big fat W's, and W's are W'ing. Let's see if anybody can remember this. I love throwing these quizzes at you. Actually, we could probably even go there, right? Let's see what this reload zone does. Come on, you. How often, like if you were like a statistician, I'm going to be curious to see if anybody even knows this answer. All you TRIers, you already know this. But if you're a statistician and somebody came to you and said, well, Mr. Market Prognosticator, what's the statistical percentage that, like, say, this big move up here and then the big dump, what's the statistical percentage that we're going to actually probably rally up into the top end of the range and then probably work our way back down into the bottom end of the range? And then when we're at the bottom end of the range, we're probably going to hold that range, maybe fuck you against the lows, who knows, but then come back up against the top end of the range. Anybody have any idea about how often does that happen? It's pretty often. So this is why, if you fancy yourself a day trader, you fancy yourself, I want to go and be a prop trader, trade in the pits. No, way more than that, Fazzle. So it just goes to show, man, you guys over on YouTube still need to learn some stuff. Where's that pseudo crypto person? How often? There you go. Thank you. Well, Will, you're a site OG, so I would expect you to know that. So, ironically enough, you can see, I've talked to you guys about this before. This is basically your sort of 20 to 25% range. well, time frame? I don't know. Right in here. We trended that window right there. And if we know that markets range is 75 to 80% of the time, and we can see how big this sort of trending window was, then that probably means we want to take like 4 of these. Maybe we'll make this like, I don't know, yellow. So there's your trend. And now this, ironically enough, if we're just following normal statistics, should look something like that. You guys get where I'm going? And actually probably should do one more. So my hunch is that whatever this consolidation looks like, it's probably got to take about this long. And interesting too. Wow, that'll take us right into September. Interesting. Let's see if that logic worked over here. I guess the question is, where do we range and where do we trend? Is this one range? That's a tough one. I mean, I would kind of look at this like that was a trading range and we resolved it. So that's a pretty big window there. If anything, probably actually it's the other way around, right? Probably goes like that. And like that. And like that. And like that, right? So there's our 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's about 20% or so. So, yeah, that's not terrible thinking. But hopefully you get what the point I'm trying to make. Markets spend far longer doing this than they spend doing this. And this is one of the reasons why I really like the bot, right? In essence, trading the bot forces you to wait for this. Once you have this, then you're like, okay, now if this thing breaks out, we're ready to explore new levels. Yeah, just for fun, eh? Should we do a fog and bomb off of this? Okay, so we'll finish the video off. Everybody can see the double bottom on here. And let's give you just a crazy, outlandish, stupid, insane bull run target. I can't take this trade just yet. I think I've explained why. I'm not quite sure where I'd be best to draw that trend line. Do you like the idea if we break trend lines, hunt W's on other sides? I don't know whether we can respect this or not. Was that a lower low? No, it wasn't. Well, if we can respect this, then in essence, this is your chaos right in there. So, I don't know. Here we go. Let's do some Bitcoin targets. Where do you think this thing's going to top out? Give me a number. Somebody give me a number. Give me a number. Give me a number. Let's see. Whoever gets closest wins. Way to go from Brian. Whatever the hell that's worth. Oh, well, here we go. Bang. So, right now, Mr. Chaos is saying, and if we draw some trend lines off of these previous peaks, yeah, we're starting to get a half decent idea. Oops. Let's go off of there. All right, so that aligns somewhere about September 23rd. And actually, I kind of like that because I would actually like Bitcoin just to go sideways here. Show me, I mean, this is 4 hours, so I don't know how real that is. I do kind of like, maybe we could like, whoops, that wasn't very good. Maybe we could like head and shoulders here. Let's try that again. There we go. Something like that, right? Then I can start thinking about W's on other sides. Let's see if we bought this out. Let's see what kind of numbers we get there. Let's go off of that low. Something like that. No. Actually, here, let's change this to bot setup. So we did 33. Did not go beyond 66. So that's good. And we go up off of these lows. And we go about trade. Wow, look at that. So we're starting to get some levels. So the way I would look at it now from a trader's got to trade kind of perspective, I like the consolidation in here. If I can get a little bit more cleanup, let's see what our indicators look like. Like we said, we've got the RSI bullish bottom. I would like, actually, if anything would be better, is if we could just kind of just go sideways here. Just let this clean up a little bit. You don't really want to see it spike straight up, kind of like what you saw here, because that actually could be problematic. If we spike straight up, then that means we're going to have to spike straight down. You know, thinking more like consolidation, I would prefer that we just consolidate in here. But fascinating to see that even just looking at these levels, 12,000 is setting up as a pivot. And it probably is the same thing as gold going through like maybe 2,000 or something. And interesting too, this is also a really great analogy. When I was a prop trader, one of the prop trading guys and I used to sit in the pits and literally we'd bet, right? Because Brandon was a career futures trader, and since day traders have to trade, and since markets range 78% of the time, he was a classic range trader. So here is a perfect analogy where Brandon is probably going to want to step in on the short side against this Mountain Man level. That's his nickname, Mountain Man. And you can see how that is that head and shoulders kind of thinking. If we think horizontal support and resistance, right, if we sort of highlight that, you can see there is going to be a hell of a fight right in here. And gee whiz, at the exact same time, Mountain Man's going short, Brian's going to be going long. We used to always have this literally almost every single fucking day. Brandon short, Brian's long. Who's going to win? Some days Brandon would win. And, you know, the interesting thing is we used to have days, because keep in mind, my stop's way down here. So we used to have days where Brandon would get short and he'd be like, okay, I'm covering. And then the market takes off. And I'm like, well, I didn't do anything. And sure enough, here's the market at the end of the day. And Brandon was so typical, because he's the only guy I've ever seen in my entire trading career where you could have like crude oil down $1.75, $2 on the day. Brandon, you look at his trade log, he's up $1,200, $1,300 on the day, being long only. How the fuck does that happen? Well, exactly like this. In this scenario, Brandon would be short only. Bitcoin works higher, Brian's long, Brandon still made money on the day. How the fuck does that work? So anyway, so I can see the next war zone coming. I think it's pretty obvious. So, but hey, is there anything for me to do here today? Nah, not really. All right, I've been blabbing away here for like well over 2 hours now, eh? Jeez, what a waste of time. Sure hope you guys got some value out of all that. You know, I have to say, just stunningly pleased with actually the karmic, I don't even know how to describe it. Everything that I could have possibly dreamed happening for this website is actually happening. We have now a very robust community of very educated, very good traders that I could literally walk away from TRI, and I think you guys will do well. Especially people like Kevin, who helps me out day in, day out with the daily briefs. Well, I was even telling somebody yesterday, I mean, you want to learn how to trade? Just look at every single one of Kevin's charts. Every single goddamn one has a bullish or bearish MACD momentum divergence that has confirmed. So he's setting himself up for success just by making sure that every single damn chart has a confirmed bullish or bearish divergence. You want to do that? You're going to greatly increase the odds of success. What? That's amazing, but we need you too. You are the Kim Kardashian of the Kardashians. I have no idea who Kim Kardashian is. I do know that the guy, didn't they have him dressing up like a woman for a while? So I don't. Maybe that actually is more of crazy sausage talk. I don't want to be dressed up like a woman. Okay. No, 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 no. I don't want any of that shit. Didn't it? I mean, that guy won the fucking gold medal in the Olympics, and he's dressed. He got the women in his life got him dressed around as a Bruce Jenner. What happened to you? Oh mercy. Anyway, the whole surgery and everything. God damn. No. It's a rule now. We do not associate TRI and that family. That family is yuck. That's it. That's everything polar opposite of what I do. I do not want to be associated with that stuff. Oh well. I hope you guys got some value out of this. Always a fun moment, a fun time at TRI listening to Brian rants. Maybe play me on 2x speed, 3x speed. It might make it a little easier for you to pick up the tidbits that I dropped. I think I dropped probably, I don't know, maybe about a half a dozen little tidbits here over the past couple hours. So be sure to take notes. By all means, if you want the formal education program, I would encourage anybody who doesn't know the process, get your ass in here and learn the goddamn process. You're not going to, you might be able to, roll the dice and awesome, way you go, made $1 million. That could happen. I haven't seen anybody in this business who can survive over the 5, 10-year, 20-year period who doesn't follow the process. You have to. If you don't know what that is and you need help, that's what the whole damn school program's all about. We're here to help. And we don't charge a hell of a lot for this help. And then also, too, I wanted to make reference. So everybody wants, we have a raffle coming up here for our free Z. Somebody's like, I just don't have the money. Well, here's your opportunity. If fate's smiling on you and you were meant to be in the raffle, get your butt in here. Put your name down. Put your email address. You'll be in the raffle, and maybe we'll change your life. Through the Daily Brief recaps, I'll probably be refining this message a little bit better. But long and short of it here, anybody's interested in the raffle is next week's Broiler Chicken Show. So if you're interested, be sure to be tuned in for that. All right, think we'll leave it at that. Have yourselves an awesome rest of your day. I got to go get cleaned up for the boy. Try and give him an awesome afternoon. PMA for the win, everybody. All the best, and bye.